And welcome to a special edition of Stacklebeck on Terror. Well, Israel is seeing a sharp increase in Palestinian terrorist attacks against its cities. That, combined with the chaos sweeping across the Middle East, has once again left the Jewish state in a precarious position. I recently sat down with Israel's Vice Prime Minister for an exclusive interview to discuss the numerous threats gathering against his country. Moshe alone is the second highest-ranking member of the Israeli government. And in our wide-ranging interview, he comes out swinging about Iran, Palestinian incitement, the Muslim Brotherhood, and the UN. And he also explains what Israel means to him. Fasten your seatbelt for some straight talk from Moshe alone. Let's go to work. Well, Minister Yalon, welcome to CBN News. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Eric, for hosting me here.
I wanted to start with the recent bombing of a bus station in Jerusalem. This comes on the heels, interestingly enough, of an upsurge in rocket attacks out of Gaza.
We believe that behind the scene, Iran is involved. Iran has become to be the main generator and instigator for instability in the Middle East. We can find the Iranian fingerprints involvement in Afghanistan by supporting, equipping, financing certain elements over there, not to allow stability in Afghanistan, and of course to kill coalition troops. This is the case in Iraq as well. They support both Shias as well as Sunnis to kill each other, to kill civilians, to kill Iraqi security personnel, and to prevent any stability in Iraq.
Even in Yemen.
In Yemen now, yes. In Bahrain, in Lebanon, Hezbollah can't survive without the Iranian support. And Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, as a Palestinian terror organization, they are fully supported by money, weapons, missiles, rockets, whatever, by the Iranian regime. So, having said that, in the upheaval in our region, the Iranian regime is trying to exploit it. First of all, to export what they call their ideology, the revolution, and to undermine moderate regimes. On top of it, to challenge us, by all means, either by Palestinian terror factions, by Hezbollah. We actually intercepted a ship.
Which was very important.
Yeah, with weapons coming from Iran through Syria, the Damascus International Airport, to Latakia, another Syrian seaport. They were on their way to the Gaza Strip. This is Iran. We have to deal with it.
It seems like Iran has given the green light to its proxies, like Hamas, like Islamic Jihad, to up the ante, so to speak, against Israel, to increase attacks.
This is our understanding.
What are the latest estimates of the Israeli government? Can you give us the timetable for an Iranian nuclear weapon? We know they're working at it diligently. How close do you feel Iran is to acquiring this doomsday capability?
We have in Tehran a messianic, apocalyptic regime. And they want to impose their Islam, their jihadist way, first of all in our region, and then all over the world. It seems beyond imagination, but this is their strategic goal, to impose Islam, their Islam, all over the globe. And the way to reach it is by supporting those terror elements in our region, Hezbollah, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, other elements in other places, even in South America, in the backyard of the United States.
Venezuela, Hugo Chavez.
Yeah. They manufacture missiles today with a range to reach Israel, Europe, but they intend to develop missiles to reach the United States as well. They have a military nuclear project, for sure. I served as head of the intelligence in the 90s when we intercepted the first pieces of information about it. Today, there is no dispute among the Western intelligence agencies about the fact that there is a military nuclear project, and this regime is determined to acquire the capabilities to produce a nuclear bomb.
Minister Yalon, you made a great point about this apocalyptic messianic ideology, this culture of martyrdom in Iran. Given this culture, is there any way that Israel could coexist with a nuclear-armed, suicidal in many ways, nuclear-armed Iran? Is that a non-starter for Israel?
The West can't exist with it. We are only the minor Satan. America is the great Satan. What is America? It's the West led by the United States. Their aim is to wipe Israel off the map of the earth on the way to defeat America. This is their slogan. So this is an existential threat not just for the state of Israel. And the military nuclear project should be stopped by one way or another.
This whole theory of linkage that we hear sometimes. Well, if we have, if the peace process advances among Israel and the Palestinians, then we can better neutralize Iran. You don't believe in that theory?
No, it is very dangerous and false conception. This is misconception. There is no any linkage whatsoever between the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the Iranian revolution. This revolution didn't emerge because of us. Al-Qaeda didn't emerge because of us. Not talking about the upheaval in the region, in which radical Islamist elements playing a significant role. It's not because of us. They don't mention us. But unfortunately, in certain Western circles, this misconception is dominating the discourse. And we deny it, and we have to fight it back. Otherwise, it will be a tremendous mistake for the West to assume that Israeli appeasement or Israeli concessions is going to serve Western interest when it comes to dealing with jihadists as Al-Qaeda or the Iranian regime.
I want to ask you about another arm, literal arm of the Iranian regime, and that is Hezbollah, Iran's strongest proxy, I would say. What do we know right now about Hezbollah's capabilities on Israel's northern border?
They have already more than 40,000 rockets and missiles covering the state of Israel. Most of it was supplied by Iran. Part of it was supplied by Syria. And they try to target or to deter and to kill our civilians. The preferable targets, it's not our military garrison, military targets. The preferred target is killing our civilians. They believe that by doing it, they might weaken the Israeli society willingness to keep the idea of the Jewish state. They've proven wrong. The Israeli society is strong enough, determined to keep Israel as a Jewish homeland. But this is their belief and aspiration. So they try to kill as many civilians as they can, avoiding the engagement with the IDF, as the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, enjoy superiority. This is the case with the rockets, the missiles, and the terror attacks as well.
And Nasrallah has even talked about invading and seizing the Galilee region of Israel in recent months.
Yes, you know, I don't believe that he has such a capability. We enjoy superiority in any military battlefield, but he can't cause damage by launching rockets and missiles towards our civilian targets, not just in the north now. It can reach even the central part of the country.
I want to talk about a recent attack that I think went underreported here in the West. A family of 5 Israelis in the town of Itamar in Samaria was brutally massacred by Palestinian terrorists, including a 3-month-old baby, stabbed to death.
Yeah.
The Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade claimed responsibility for this attack. An arm of Fatah.
Yeah.
Israel's, according to the West, this is Israel's Partners for Peace. Yet every day on Palestinian Authority official TV, there is this kind of incitement to violence against Jews. How does this incitement, Minister, play a role in terrorism?
Yeah. I know the Fogel family, the family which was massacred, and I attended the funeral. And I heard the Abu Mazen as well as Salam Fayyad condemnation of the massacre. That's on one hand. On the other hand, they don't change the educational curriculum in the Palestinian schools. They don't change the contents of the Palestinian media, which is full of incitement against us. If Palestinian kids from kindergarten, 3 years old, are educated to wear explosive belts, to kill whom? to admire the homicide bombers as role models. What is the expectation for any political process, for any signed agreement? And I'm so experienced, unfortunately, as I was involved in the Oslo process since '95 as head of the intelligence, till my retirement as the chief of staff in 2005 until now. If Israel doesn't appear on the Palestinian maps, all the land of Israel is covered with the Palestinian flag. If they consider occupation since '48, not since '67, it means that the conflict is not about the size of Israel or its borders, but it is about our very existence. And if the young generation is educated to deny any linkage between the Jewish people and the land of Israel, and we don't have the right to have a Jewish state, this is the outcome. It's the outcome of hatred, incitement. It should be changed. And so they are responsible for these attacks as well. They can't deny responsibility. We were judged in the Human Rights Council by Libya and Sudan as members of the Human Rights Council.
Israel was judged.
Israel was judged for our self-defense rights exercised in the Second Lebanon War or in Castled operation. Unbelievable. And Israel is a democracy. We operate according to the Jewish Western values of sanctity of life, of all rights, even of our enemy. We are not allowed to kill intentionally civilians who are not involved. But when our enemies target deliberately our civilians, they use our own civilians as human shield, in certain cases, there is collateral damage. But we can't avoid it because of them. Instead of blaming them, Israel is blamed and condemned. Unbelievable. So in certain cases, it's a hypocritic, corrupt discourse when it comes to the United Nations. You know, I prepared the contingency plan for the Second Lebanon War. I didn't lead the operation, as I retired before. But when we intercepted the top secret information about a special project run by Iran and Hezbollah in Lebanon to position the rockets, Fajr rockets as we're called, in civilian houses by constructing additional room for Hezbollah activist house, so we found that we have a family house with a kitchen, with a parents' room, with a living room, with a kids' room, and with a rocket room, with launcher and rocket ready to be launched towards Israeli civilians in our cities.
And these families were living in these homes.
Yeah. Now, it was a moral dilemma, ethical dilemma, legal dilemma, and operational dilemma. At the end, we have to make the decision what to do with it. To allow them to launch the rockets and to kill our civilians, or to hit the launchers in advance. At the end, we decided to hit the launcher in advance. And I can justify it in any institute, in front of any court, to justify it morally, legally, and operationally. But we were condemned from the collateral damage.
Goldstone report.
Goldstone report, yeah. Unbelievable. So those who are going to sleep with rockets might wake up with our missiles. This is a message, very clear.
Up next, what does the land of Israel mean to Moshe alone? You won't want to miss this. Stay tuned. Your wife's great-grandparents actually walked from Morocco to Israel. It took them 2 years. Yeah. I think that story says a lot about what Israel, the land of Israel, means to the Jewish people. What does Israel mean to you?
You know, I'm the son of a Holocaust survivor. My mother survived the Holocaust in Poland. She was the only one from her family to survive the Holocaust. She arrived to the land of Israel at the end of 1946. She knew that the only safe country for Israel is going back to our ancestors' country. to Zion, to Jerusalem, to the land of Israel. So with this background, I believe that the Jewish people all over the globe should have at least one independent Jewish state, only one, and this is the state of Israel. This is my commitment, and I believe that, generally speaking, this is a commitment of most of the Israelis, highly motivated, to protect the country as well as to develop, to build it for a better future.
Thanks again to Minister Moshe Alon for joining us on this special edition of Stakelbeck on Terror. And remember to keep it right here as we report on the advancing global jihad that's in your backyard. Until next time, take care and God bless.